That's such a stupid question you ask. A question like that is a disgrace to our country.
Andy, I feel like this is back-to-back recordings.
We had a day off, dude. I will say we finally made it. Like I feel comfortable right now saying that we are YouTubers. Like I don't know if we're podcasters, but
Okay.
we're YouTubers. Have you seen our last video?
No, I haven't watched it. Why?
You know what I've been longing for? What's worried me? We haven't had one certain thing on our videos that's made me a little nervous. You remember what that is?
What was it? What?
Negative comments. There's nobody
Oh,
telling us how much they disagree with us, rate us. You know what? We got two on the last video. I think our first and second ever negative comments. It made me feel good inside.
okay. I feel like we've had negative comments in the past.
I don't remember any of them. There
Hmm.
was the one person that said something about. I thought they were talking about my voice. They might have been talking about Trump's. I will say to counterbalance the negative comments. My mom called me earlier today and reminded me how good I am of a podcaster. She thinks I should be a pro. So because of that, those two negative comments are just rolling right off me.
Okay.
Not even trying.
Pro Andy, let's do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, on that note, like and subscribe, leave a
Yes.
comment.
Leave a negative comment. I enjoyed it. The guy that left
Tell
the
us how much
negative
you hate us.
The guy that left the negative comment has posted videos of his own. I'm not going to call him out here. His videos aren't exciting at all, so I don't know what he's talking about. Anyhow, I watched a couple of his videos. It's 3D printers. I mean, it's not that cool. Anyhow, all right. So real quick, we got to do a follow up on what's going on with Iran. I'm going to try to make this quick because we talked about it for too long last time. But last time we talked, Trump. I don't know if we could say he tacoed, but he had started Operation Project Freedom to get ships out of the strait, and then less than a day later, he announced he was putting a pause on it. He said that's because we were on the verge of a great deal, and he didn't want to do anything to mess up the deal. Turns out that's not why he paused. Have you heard about this at all?
Remind me.
Okay. All right, so this is from NBC News, and NBC News and Dropsite almost tied on getting this out first. But Trump's abrupt U-turn on a plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz came after backlash from allies. Saudi Arabia, a key Gulf ally, suspended the U.S. military's ability to use its bases and airspace to carry out the operation. It goes on. I didn't pull the whole article, but let's see. Trump surprised Gulf allies by announcing Project Freedom on social media Sunday afternoon, the official said, angering leadership in Saudi Arabia. In response, the kingdom informed the U.S. it would not allow the U.S. military to fly aircraft from Prince Sultan Air Base southeast of Riyadh or fly through Saudi airspace to support the effort. A call between Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman did not resolve the issue, the two U.S. officials said, forcing the president to pause Project Freedom in order to restore the U.S. military access to critical airspace, which is weird. So Saudi Arabia apparently, from all reporting, was egging us on. It was us, it was them and Israel that were really wanting us to attack Iran in the first place. Now,
Mm.
so what it turns out, Ryan Grimm with Dropsites reporting, they were mad because we were about to launch all these attacks on the Strait of Hormuz, basically from their countries, and they knew that Iran was going to shoot back. They already did. They shot back Sunday night and hit an oil place in the UAE, and basically they were mad that Iran was shooting back at them, and America was not shooting back in retaliation into Iran. They were basically letting the Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. It was mainly Kuwait and Saudi Arabia that said no, but apparently the UAE was about there. Um, but we
Hmm.
weren't retaliating. We were just letting them take all the hits. So that's why they said
Interesting.
no. Now it seems like we're about on the verge of a deal for them to now allow us to use the airspace to do Operation Project Freedom, according to a couple people.
Well,
Um,
I've got two things on this. Why is our airbase called Prince Sultan Air Base?
I'm gonna guess that's a Saudi Arabian name.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why would you name a U.S. military base after the prince of another country?
I would bet that that base was already there. It was already Prince Sultan Air Base, and we started using it at some point, is what I would bet. I don't
Hmm.
think we built a base and named it after one of their princes. I don't think that happened. Maybe I'm
Okay.
wrong. Somebody look that up. I don't know.
And another thing is, have you seen because I brought this up, I was going to bring this up too. Um, there's other military access that we're not able to use at this point. Spain, Italy, France, Switzerland, and Austria.
So Spain, 100%. Italy, I don't know about Italy actually, but France and Austria have since allowed us to use their airspace. They're wording it in a way where they're like, we're not allowing them to directly attack from our country, but they are allowing us to leave there and refuel in a couple places and then attack. Like it they're saying it because their people don't want any part of this war. So what they're saying is technically true, but also technically they are kind of letting us use their airspace. It's a weird little game they're playing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyhow, we actually did shoot back today. Three of our destroyers trying to get into the strait apparently came under heavy fire. The fast boats, the Trump calls them, and
Hmm.
drones and missiles all at the same time were swarming them. None of them took any hits, according to us. Iran is claiming that several of our ships took hits. We're saying they didn't. I don't know who to believe. Both sides are full of shit there.
It doesn't. I mean, if they have drones, missiles, and little boats coming after us, like it's hard to believe that we didn't take any fire.
So I could believe it. I just don't because of who's telling. Like they've already lied about a lot. And real quick,
Who?
our administration and
Oh,
Iran. There's been several times that Iran has claimed they've scored major hits on us, and they haven't. So like both sides are totally full of crap here, and they're counting on like a media blackout. The Washington Post had a real fascinating thing. We've kind of talked about this. They said exclusive. Iranian airstrikes have damaged or destroyed at least 228 structures or pieces of equipment at U.S. military sites since the war began, according to a post analysis. The amount of destruction is far larger than what was previously reported. You know how all the satellite companies now will not share data on the Middle East? Like our government asked the different satellite companies to not put out any pictures of that area because they don't want us to see how bad the damage is. So
yeah.
seems like we've been taking hits all along. He seemed I don't want to say he doesn't care, but like the fact that Dubai and all those cities over there are taking hits, like we seem to not really care about. That's why they were mad. After they got mad and told us we couldn't use their airspace, our ships were fired on, and then we actually did shoot back. We shot back at a couple, like right along the coastline of the Strait of Hormuz, a couple ports. Apparently, we were trying to take out missile launch facilities. That totally makes sense. If they're shooting at us, I would think we should shoot back at wherever the missiles launched from. I'm for
Sure.
that. Um,
Yeah.
Last time we talked about the whole ceasefire, and they're shooting at us, we're shooting at them, but it's still a ceasefire, according to Trump. It kind of kills me.
Yeah.
Rachel Scott, who I think she's with ABC News, she talked to Trump on the phone today, and he said, and this is her tweet: President Trump tells me in a phone call, the retaliatory strikes against Iranian targets are just a love tap. It's just a love tap, in quotes. When I asked if it means the ceasefire is over, he said, "No, no, the ceasefire is going. It's in effect." What I need to know the definition of ceasefire because now they were shooting at us and we were like, "No, no, no, still a ceasefire." Now we're shooting back. No, 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 still a ceasefire. I'm a little confused here. And then I think that part of the problem was that those countries felt like they were being left unprotected. So to make up for that, this is why I think that there is about to be a deal for them to let us use the airspace again.
I have the definition of ceasefire if you want to know what it
Oh,
is.
let's hear it.
A ceasefire is a temporary formal agreement between opposing parties, typically armies, to stop fighting, usually to allow peace negotiations or humanitarian aid. It acts as a pause in hostilities, sometimes serving as a preliminary step toward a permanent truce, while often used interchangeably with truce or armistice. It does not signify an official end of the war.
So
So,
a pause in hostilities.
yes.
I guess it depends on your definition of hostilities. If they're trying to hit our Navy ships and we're trying to blow up their missile launchers, that might not be hostile, some people's definition. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never been in the Army or Navy. How would I know?
Maybe
My
that's not hostile.
my definition of hostile might be very different from the Pentagon's. Seems plausible. I don't know.
Sounds
So
hostile,
yeah.
hostile to me.
Um, to make those countries feel better, it does appear says as U.S. stockpiles fall, U.S. sells more missiles worth 17 billion to Gulf nations. This article basically goes on to say that we're selling Patriot missiles to the Gulf nations. Now, Patriot missiles is the thing that we're running out of. Like our stocks are depleted. We're now going to sell 17 billion of them to these countries to use to defend themselves. I think that signifies that hostilities are more likely to start back up than not. Like if we're basically resupplying them right now
With 17
interceptors.
billion or $17 billion worth.
$17 billion worth of Patriot missiles. I don't know how much they cost a piece. I got to think $17 billion worth is a lot of them, I guess. Yeah, are you looking it up? I'm
Yeah.
going to say the cost of a Patriot missile is $7 million. That's my guess. I could be way off.
4 million.
Okay.
The advanced ones are 7 million. A full Patriot battery, including launchers, radar, and control stations, costs over 1 billion, with roughly 400 million for the system and 690 million for the initial missile supply.
Man.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so that's where we are with Iran. All day long, Trump was, or I don't want to say Trump, the White House was saying that they were expecting a response to our last, today we were expecting Iran to respond to our last offer, our last terms. And
Okay.
like the headline on all the news channels today was like, expecting a response today. Never came. No response. They shot at us this morning. We shot at them. No response today. I don't feel like, I think that they really just want to drag this on to the midterms. Like they are
Yeah.
willing to suffer to make this last through the midterms. That's and they said that. They said that at the very beginning. They said we're not going to let this end till the midterms. I don't think they were bluffing. So maybe I'll be wrong.
Okay.
And tomorrow we'll sign a peace deal. I don't know. Another topic we got to talk about real quick. We haven't said a lot about MAHA recently. We mentioned the Casey Means or Callie, whichever one it was, the girl Means. She's not going to be the head of the. Oh, she was going to be the Surgeon General. That's what it was. He pulled her
Okay.
nomination, put a new girl up. The new girl up apparently was very Maha, but now all the news agencies are pulling out old tweets of hers where she was critical of Trump. They're just trying to like torpedo her. So like, there's a solid chance he's going to pull her nomination at some point. We'll see. But I was thinking back. It's been a wild 100 days for Maha. Like, if you're a Maha faithful and you're like, yeah, I don't like the war and I don't like the tariffs, but at least Robert Kennedy, Maha, we got this. In the last 100 days, and I'm not going in particular order here, and tell me if I miss anything. They introduced what was it like the Defense Production Act for glyphosate to basically increase the making of glyphosate and Roundup and shield them from any legal liability. And RFK has said for years that glyphosate causes cancer. So that was in the last 100 days. Um, they dropped the push to outlaw certain food colors. You hear about like red dye 40 or whatever. They
Oh,
were
they
gonna,
dropped that push?
yeah, that's gone. They're not trying to do that anymore. So
Oh.
the food lobby fought back, and we're not doing that anymore. They this is the funniest one. There's
Here's the
two.
thing is why does the food lobby want to poison us? I don't get it. Like we're their customers and they want to poison their customers.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that artificial food colors are cheaper than using natural food colors. I'm guessing that. I don't know if that's true. Also,
Probably.
here's the thing in America, like there were certain, I think Fruit Loops was one of them, but at one point, Fruit Loops put out like you could buy regular Fruit Loops or you could buy the non-food color Fruit Loops. You know, they did it just to try it out. Nobody bought the non-food color Fruit Loops because they were like, kind of, I don't want to say pale. I don't know what the right word.
Brown.
They weren't a vibrant color. They weren't appealing to the eye, and nobody bought them. Like the market dictates. Like this is a capitalist society. The market dictates what these companies are going to do, and we've told them we like tasty food that looks fun. Like we don't care about the health.
And we've been conditioned to want that. Because
Yeah,
I guarantee you, if we went back in time and we brought Fruit Loops to like the 1600s and tried to give them to people, they'd be like, I'm not eating that.
that
Like
looks
that looks like
radioactive.
poison.
Yeah, exactly. But anyhow, so the food colors are gone. Also, this wasn't Robert Kennedy, but the EPA they changed the rules to allow I think it was like coal power plants to emit more metal into the pollution, like more heavy metals in the
Mercury.
air. Yeah,
Yeah.
which RFK was asked about that, and he was like, "Hey, that's the EPA, not me. Like, I don't have anything to do with that." Well, you speak up, man.
Yeah.
The two new ones they did are kind of hysterical. This is from the Los Angeles Times. RFK
RFK.
Jr. clears path for minors' use of tanning beds, much to the dismay of dermatologists. I I didn't know that there were people that were clamoring to be able to put their children into a tanning bed. Apparently, that's a thing that the people have been asking for.
I guess.
Like when we're talking about like making America healthy again, like I feel like tanning beds for children, maybe that is on their list. I don't know, Maha. That just doesn't seem like that should be on there, does it?
No,
I
definitely
mean,
not.
okay. The other
You and
one,
I both worked at tanning salons when we were like 16, 17.
I every time I tell somebody that I used to work at a tanning salon, they just look at me and I'm like, yeah, I know I don't look like that, but I did. So we worked at competing tanning salons.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. The other thing that they did, this is from the New York Post. This was covered everywhere. The FDA approves fruit flavored vapes in shocking first, allowed following reported pressure from the Trump administration. Apparently, over the weekend, Trump called. What his name? Ed Markey, something Marquet, something like that. He's one of the guys under Kennedy. Called him and like berated him and said, "Hey, I promised this lobby I was going to legalize these. Why haven't you done it yet?" And pushed him into doing it. So there was no like scientific review. I used to work in retail, and I remember at one point we used to sell like I think the brand was Jewel, like the Jewel vapes, and they were all kinds of
Hmm.
fun cotton candy type flavors. And like out of the blue one day, like we had to pull them all off the shelves. And the reasoning behind it was because the fruity flavored ones apparently kids can get addicted to more. That was I don't know if this is true or not. That was the theory behind it, so that's why they pulled them.
Well, the people who are lobbying against those say that it attracts the kids to vape more, to have the fruity flavor ones.
That makes sense to me. I've never seen any like science to back that up,
Yeah.
research, but that totally makes sense to me. I believe
Well,
it.
here in Denver and Golden and all of like a lot of the surrounding areas, they've banned all that stuff. You can only get pure. You can't even get like mint dip.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all just plain tobacco flavored shit.
Well, maybe now and also side note on Colorado, I guess on Colorado you guys have laws about magazine capacity for like rifles and stuff. The Trump administration is suing Colorado because of their limiting of I have no clue. I didn't read the article. I saw the headline. But that's one of those where it's like, hey man, like Republican states' rights, like every state gets to dictate certain things. Why is the federal government getting involved in that? Whatever. That's They've thrown that out the window. States' rights mean nothing to Republicans these days. So
Yeah, I don't think so.
anyhow, that's a lot, and I probably missed a lot, but that's what I can remember in like the last 100 days or so of MAHA. Um, no wins that I could see. Like the one thing that they've done that I think a lot of them would point at is they redid the childhood vaccine schedule where certain things are not recommended now. Doctors can still give them to you. It's just not officially recommended by the CDC. I think that's like the
Mm.
one if you're MAHA, you're like, hey, at least they did the childhood vaccine schedule. Other than that, I
But
think
at that point, and on that note, let's look up the measles epidemic.
I haven't heard anything about the measles recently. Are the cases not as crazy anymore, I wonder, or is it still going up? We just stopped talking about it.
Well, measles outbreak cases. Let's see. Wait, let's go to John Hopkins. Tracking measles cases in the U.S. 2026. It looks like it's still growing.
Okay.
Um, wish there was a total here. Oh, 1900.
1900. I don't
1900 in 2026. In all of 2025, we had 2,214.
and we're 5 months into this year.
Yeah.
So at this
So
pace, we're going
measles
to end up
just keeps
3,900
climbing.
or so. Yeah. Right. Having that whole, vaccine elimination status, like, I don't think that was that important anyway. Like, I'm not really worried about that. If we lose that, whatever, we're fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah. We got smart people leading the nation.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm going with all this is me and you have speculated for a while, like, man, what happens if we have another pandemic and RFK is in charge? Like, what? We've fired all the scientists. We've removed ourselves from the WHO, the World Health Organization. Like, that's how you track these things. It's kind of scary. Well, good news. The next one might be on the horizon.
Health officials around the world are racing to contain a deadly outbreak of hantavirus that's linked to this cruise ship in the Atlantic. The Dutch airline KLM says one of the ship's passengers, who later died after contracting the virus, boarded a flight in South Africa before the plane's crew decided she was too sick to travel. The Georgia Department of Public Health says 2 people who returned home to the state after getting off the ship are being monitored right now. And one Arizona resident who was also on board is also being watched by officials there. And according to the New York Times, California residents were on the ship as well.
Oh, good.
Sweet. So that's just in the last couple of weeks this has become a thing. What's crazy to me, so I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not alarmed by this yet, and I'll tell you why in a second. But someone who eventually died of it got on a plane, and then before takeoff, the stewardess noticed how sick she was and determined she was too sick to be on the plane, and they removed her. And then that plane went on its merry way and flew wherever it did, and those people all, that's a little... Plus, people that were on the boat as people were dying have since gotten off and are back home in the United States, where they say 2 in Georgia, 2 in California. Are we not quarantining these people? I'm very curious as to what's happening with these people. And it's got a 40% mortality rate so far. Now, 2 of the 3 people that died were elderly. One was 69 and one was 70. And I know that people are going to bring that up because with COVID, that was a thing. I don't know the age of the other one, but they were apparently not elderly. So far, 40% mortality rate. Fun stuff. They asked Donald Trump about it. I had flashbacks immediately to his press conferences he was given daily during COVID, where he was suggesting we put some kind of he didn't say bleach, I don't think, but he said a cleaning agent in the body, and then using an ultraviolet light to kill it in the body. All of his different theories.
It'll be gone by Easter. Don't worry about it.
So that's my flashback. Is the beginning, the first couple of months of it, he was like, oh, we have it totally under control. There's 0 cases here. We're fine. It'll be gone by Easter. All that, he seems so confident. Let's listen to him respond to a question about this today.
I'm also with ABC News. Can I ask you
Fake
about
news.
the hantavirus? Have you been briefed on the virus?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us what you learned in these briefings?
Well,
Should
I think you're
Americans-
going to be told everything, and you already have. It's very much, we hope, under control. There was the ship, and I think we're going to make a full report about it tomorrow. We have a lot of people, a lot of great people studying it. It should be fine. We hope.
Should Americans be concerned that it's going to spread? And how are you
I hope
working to
not.
get
I
those
mean, I hope
Americans
not. We'll do the
home?
best we can, yeah.
To get the Americans that are on the
Go
ship
ahead.
home.
I hope not. We'll do the best we can. That wasn't comforting to me. He said we hope a lot. His answer to a lot was we don't think so, or we hope. We're going to do the best we can. That didn't instill confidence in me. And especially, I think, knowing who's running HHS and the CDC, and I'm worried. I'm not going to lie. This is not
I'm
cool.
worried.
What scares me even more.
Super scary.
So I want to say this very clearly. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. Maybe ivermectin cures cancer. I don't know. The people that were very loud and insistent on certain things last time, they're already coming out of the woodwork. Sarah Palin, I didn't know what this was about at first. Sarah Palin tweeted today, don't comply, period. This time, just don't. And I was like, what is she talking about? And then I started seeing more tweets, and people are like, Alex Jones is saying, oh, this is Trump's in office again, and they're going to try to lock down, they're going to try to lock down the world to kill the economy, blah, blah, blah. So he's claiming this is somehow manufactured and lockdowns are coming. I don't think that's going to happen. Whatever. After Sarah Palin tweeted that, and I realized what was going on, I saw this fun tweet. I don't know who this lady is, Mary Talley Bowden. I'm betting she was big in the kind of COVID times. But she said, hantavirus is an RNA virus, and ivermectin should work against it. Ivermectin blocks RNA viruses from entering the nucleus, inhibits viral replication, disrupts something, blah, blah, blah. What's fun is this got a community note. The community note says, lab studies show ivermectin can block certain viral proteins from entering the cell's nucleus. However, hantavirus does not replicate in the nucleus. It does so in the cytoplasm. I don't know what all that means. This basically is saying ivermectin's not going to work. The fun part is Marge. I haven't seen Marge in a while. Marge retweeted this and said, I actually texted her today and asked what we can treat hantavirus with. I'm so glad she posted it. Ivermectin. Also vitamin D and zinc. Those of us who refused to lock down, mask up, and get vaxxed took the good old horse paste and also developed natural immunity. So if this becomes a thing, Like those same people are chomping. Like they've probably been bored for the past couple of years since there's not a pandemic. And like if this becomes a thing, they are going to be loud. And guess what? Twitter sure as heck ain't going to censor anything this time. YouTube's not censoring anything. It's going to be crazy because we're going to hear stuff online and we're going to say, oh, wow, I hope that's not true. What's the government saying about this? Well, RFK is in charge of what the government's saying about this.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what works. I just know that I felt good. I still feel good about this. I felt good last time trusting the experts. Like that's where I was the whole time. What are the experts saying? That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan through a pandemic. Right now, the whole trust the experts thing, like where are the experts? I don't know.
All right. Well, me and you have both been a little under the weather the last couple days.
Maybe we got hantavirus. This is gonna real quick.
Hantavirus is significantly less contagious than COVID-19 and does not spread easily between humans, making it unlikely to cause a pandemic. Yes,
You're
win.
correct. I was trying to build it up to get us there, but real quick, here's a lady with the WHO, which America's not a member of anymore, but she made me feel good about this. So check this out.
This is not coronavirus. This is a very different virus. We know this virus. Hantaviruses have been around for quite a while. There's a lot of detail that we know. I'm going to ask Anais to come in and say this, but I want to be unequivocal here. This is not SARS-CoV-2. This is not the start of a COVID pandemic. This is an outbreak that we see on a ship. There's a confined area. We have 5 confirmed cases so far.
Okay, it was on the ship and now it's spread across the United States.
Well, here's the thing. So I listened to like a lot of that press conference today. Apparently, in America, every year there's 20 to 40 hantavirus cases in America every year just on the regular. So,
Okay.
and those don't normally spread. Now, the fear with all these things is always like, well, it could mutate and jump human to human. There are some people on Twitter that are saying there's evidence that this has done that already. Nobody from the WHO or anybody like that is saying that. It's only random accounts on Twitter. So until that, if that suddenly happens where this goes like airborne and it's easy, from most of what I read, this thing, and this is going to sound backward, but it's so deadly that basically it could never become a pandemic. Like the reason COVID worked so well is because you had like the 4-day incubation period, and a lot of people just thought they had allergies and they were going about their business. When you get this, you get like flu-like symptoms quick to where like you're not leaving your house. You got stuff coming out of both ends, and you
Okay.
either deal with a really bad flu or you eventually die from it. So
Okay.
that's that because it's so deadly. Theoretically, it would never really spread like a COVID virus would. So
Okay.
that's
That's
like
good. Good
yeah.
news.
So let's hope.
We don't have to worry about that.
I also though remember at the beginning of COVID when all of our government was telling us like there's no cases here, we're fine, and then it turned out to not be fine. So every time I see somebody say it's going to be fine, I'm a little hesitant to buy that. That's all I'm saying. So let's hope.
Especially with this administration.
Let's hope. And that would that's all of all the things that are going poorly right now. Like I don't want a repeat of COVID. Like let's not go through that again. Like Jesus God.
No.
And like the division that COVID costs, like, oh, you're a mask wearer or you don't wear a mask or what, like America was at each other's throats over getting vaxxed and not getting vaxxed and wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. And we one of our friends had like they have an annual Christmas party and they actually had their Christmas party, but they did it smart and they did it to where it was in the backyard. We were sitting around a campfire, everybody spread out, and for food they made like little to-go boxes of food for everybody to where we weren't all like congregating at a food table. Very wisely done. I still remember one person walked in and was like, "Hold on, wait, what's going on here?" And when it hit her, she goes, "Is this a COVID party?" And we were like, yeah, well, we're all just trying to be smart. And you could tell she was disgusted by the fact that we were like following smart procedure of what to do. Anyhow, we can't go back to that, man.
Disgusted.
She wanted to leave right then. Like, I can't believe y'all are doing this. So anyhow, the only thing I got left is I got the economy, then some small stuff. But do you have anything for us tonight?
Yeah, actually, that Jeffrey Epstein suicide note came out today. Did you see it?
Yeah, so I'll tell you from the very start, when I heard that, holy shit, there's an Epstein suicide note, they've kept it under seal. Why are they doing this? I thought for sure that he listed names. Like I was ready to why else would they keep it under seal unless he was spilling the tea on people? Like that's what I thought. I was
Well,
so disappointed when this came out.
usually a suicide note is like heartfelt and thought out. And I mean, I would imagine, I've never really read a suicide note before.
But
This thing looked like a child fucking wrote it, and it makes no sense. I can't even read the handwriting. And I
I
have bad handwriting.
yeah,
I don't think it's the real suicide note. There's no
I
way.
I remember they read it on the air and whatever it said. And you're right. I'm looking at. I don't think I'd actually looked at it yet. The end says no fun, not worth it. I have no clue what he's saying here. He basically
You
was
can
saying it's
barely
time.
read it.
He said something like, it's time to go or something along those lines. Like it was again. Why did they keep that
This
under?
guy was making millions and billions of dollars. Do you think his handwriting was that bad? No.
Oh, I mean,
Do you?
have you ever seen a doctor's handwriting? It's fucking terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, could be.
Anyway, I think this is fake. I think this is bullshit. I think somebody
So
put this in the evidence or whatever, and the judge is now releasing it for, I don't know. I don't understand. Is this a Trump judge or what is this?
no, so here's the thing. His cellmate was that guy. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of his cellmate, but his cellmate was like
Yeah.
a muscled up dude that was a former cop that killed like four drug dealers or something like that. He was a corrupt cop. And
And they put
everybody,
him in that cell the day before his
yeah,
suicide.
everybody that thinks that Epstein didn't kill himself totally thinks this cop was put there to do the job. This cop apparently, like, it was a period of time after Epstein was found, like days or weeks later. The cop was like, he said, "We found this note in the book." I at that point, if it just said this, why didn't they add that to the files? Like, I don't understand why. Anyhow, it was a letdown. The fact they were hiding it made me think there was something there, and it turned out there's nothing. If this is real, there's nothing there.
I don't think it's real. That's the whole thing. And if it's not real, I mean, have we seen the missing 2 minutes of the video?
We haven't. Now, let me back you up real quick. If you don't think it's real, do you think that his cellmate fabricated this and turned it in and said, "Hey guys, look what I found. This is from him." No, you think the government did it. And if that's the
Yeah.
case, why isn't the cellmate speaking up? Because he's still alive. Why isn't he speaking up and saying, "Hey, that's BS. I never found that. I never turned it in."
Didn't he get released early because
No,
of, okay.
he got moved to a different prison, but
Like
he's still
a
there.
nicer prison or like what?
No, just a different one.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I have a feeling like, okay, so the autopsy, right?
Okay.
It's been it's been examined and it shows that his it was in line with being strangled as opposed to him hanging himself.
Certain bones in his neck they were broken or fractured.
Yeah.
Normally, that doesn't happen from a hanging. That's what I've heard.
Yes. So
Yeah.
heard that. And then there's a video that comes out that the DOJ releases that shows somebody, it shows I guess the entrance to his door or the hallway before you get to his cell.
You can see the hallway right before you would turn to go to his cell, but you can't actually see his cell.
And right before he dies, there's a missing 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they explained it as like, oh, it resets every hour or whatever. And apparently that was a lie. And then they're like, well, we're gonna find the 2 minutes and we're gonna release it. We have not seen that yet.
The insulting part was they put out the video and they were like, "Here, look, uncut, unedited. Here it is." And like if they knew there were 2 minutes missing, they should have gotten out in front of that and said, "Hey, here's the video, just so you know, from 11:59 to 12:01. Here's what happens. Here's what." But they put it out hoping we wouldn't catch it, and like within hours, somebody caught it. So
Yeah, there's just so fishy that
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I unfortunately, I think that Iran and the economy are doing a good enough job of distracting from Epstein to where like it's not really on the front page anymore. Like I think we've all kind of accepted the fact that the government did a good job of covering most of it up. Like we got some stuff, but we didn't get anything good.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to jail. No arrests have been made. That's. I think this is where it ends. Like we're gonna keep talking about it, but nothing new is gonna happen.
Yeah. So the Trump administration has basically allowed these child diddlers to run free. They're, we've got, if we actually had all the Epstein files, we would know names and we could prosecute and put them in jail. But instead, these like billionaires and millionaires who are diddling children are still out there running businesses and maybe diddling kids still.
Yeah, the Epstein class remains free. I don't know, like I don't know where you got the number 20 from. Like I feel like it could be a lot higher than that. Well, we'll never know. But I mean,
Yeah.
the way that sometimes you hear thousands of women that were taken advantage of. Like if it's thousands of women, I think there's probably more than 20. Maybe there's not. I don't know. Maybe they were running through.
Yeah, and I'm just talking about the United States. Like the other countries are taking care of it. Oh, did you hear that? I forget the UK or France, one of them was trying to get files from our administration,
And we
and
refuse to give them.
we refused to hand over evidence.
I saw that. Yeah. So Marge said it again this week. I don't know who she was speaking to. She was speaking somewhere, and she told the whole story about how she thought for sure Trump would be totally down with releasing the Epstein files. And then when she signed her name to the petition, Trump called her, and the key line was he said, "My friends will be hurt if you release it." It's like, well, if your friends are on the list, they should. I'm sorry, they might get hurt. Maybe they deserve to get hurt. And she said she told him like, sir, like these women were hurt, and all he kept going back to was his friends. Like he
He doesn't have friends.
the way he's talked about this a lot. He thinks that the victims in the whole Epstein saga are his rich friends. Like he sees it like they're the victims. Forget about the actual victims. Like these people could get hurt. It's unfair. That's yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
What a turd.
Yeah. So, anyhow, let's move on to the economy real quick. Tariffs. Have you heard about tariffs? There's new tariff news. A ruling today. Apparently, there is something totally separate called a trade court. I've never heard of this in my life, but like our national trade court had a ruling today. Trade court says President Trump's 10% global tariffs are unlawful. So after the Supreme Court took away his actual tariff deal, what was it, Liberation Day tariffs, he tried to implement just a global 10% tariff. Now that has been found unconstitutional. So we currently are back to having no tariffs. We never actually signed any trade deals with any of these countries. We had frameworks of deals, but never a completed trade deal. So the past year and a half, he's gotten almost nothing done on trade.
We've gone backwards on trade because we had trade deals with all these countries.
We did. Now it's I have no problem with it just being open, like no deals, just the cost is the cost. It's free and fair. But
Okay.
he wants deals that are more beneficial to America. We haven't. Yeah. So our trade deficit has gone up. Like we're importing more stuff than we were before Trump came into office over the past year and a half. So the whole point of this was to balance the trade deficit, and it hasn't worked yet. And no European countries and like Canada are buying a lot less of our stuff. That's the other key component to it. So
yeah, because he was supposed to build manufacturing in this country, but I haven't seen an ounce of that.
he keeps claiming, in his whole first term, he kept claiming that all these manufacturing plants were being constructed right now. They never showed up. Like I don't know where they were, but he kept claiming it. And this time he's talking about all auto manufacturers and all these different plants that are under construction right now. Give me a list. Show me some video or pictures of construction happening. Show me any evidence this is happening. If you show me the evidence, I'll believe it. But he just keeps saying it, and I haven't seen any reports on any of these sites, so I'm at a loss.
Yeah. It's just these big AI plants that are going up, and we talked about that last episode, like how much water and energy they're using.
Yep, they're propping up the economy. Like they've totally saved everything right now. Like the stock market is up simply because of these AI companies, and that's all. That's all he cares about. Do you remember who Kevin Hassett is? He's the guy. If you don't remember him, as soon as you see him, you'll know who he is. But he's the guy that, like, as he's delivering bad news, he always smiles. He's got like a weird grin where he's happy to be delivering this bad news. I think we need to take a second and really contemplate the fact that he might be a secret Democrat. I have this theory on Kevin Hassett because every time he talks, he says stuff that is harmful to Trump. It's showing that the economy's in bad shape, but he does it like gleefully. I think he's secretly a Democrat and he's trying to harm Trump. Watch this video. Pay attention. This is hard. Pay attention to what he says here, but also his expression as he's saying it. This blew my mind.
And so the consumer is really, really firing on all cylinders, just like the corporate sector you're seeing in the earnings reports. And they're doing that because they have so much more money in their pockets. In fact, I had the head of one of the big 5 banks in my office yesterday going through the credit card data. And just as Secretary Epstien said, credit card spending is through the roof. They're spending more on gasoline, but they're spending more on everything else, too.
Credit card spending is through the roof. people are spending more money on gasoline and everything else. He said it like that's an excellent sign. People's
Yeah.
credit card debt is increasing at a faster pace than ever. People are having to put more purchases on a credit card because they're so strapped for cash. He just said that like it's good.
Well, I think in their mind, it's good for the businesses. The businesses are booming because they're taking our money.
Oh yeah. And what I saw this oh god, I saw it yesterday. The average interest rate on a credit card is like 22 or 23%. It was something like that. Like you can get a standard loan from a bank from 11%. Like that would be the smarter play for everyone. It's just but no. So I love Kevin Hassett for that reason. Like I said, I think he's an undercover Democrat. That's my theory. While this is going on, and this let me get to this real quick because this is just fun. Trump put out a tweet the other day where he said this is the golden age of America. The welcome to the golden age. Since President Trump took office, companies have invested trillions of dollars into their U.S. based operations, onshoring and creating hundreds of thousands of new jobs for Americans. What's great is on Elon's X, community notes. Community note bodied Trump. So this is the community notes. Job growth has suffered substantially in Trump's second term. In recent months, down 75% compared to the same time last year. Next note. Manufacturing jobs are down in 2025, the opposite of what tariffs were supposed to achieve. Next note. Layoffs are occurring at record rates. Golden age. We are in the golden age, buddy. I want you to never forget that. While this is going on, Trump is so that we talked about it last time. They approved $1 billion for the ballroom and security at the White House. They have clarified since then that's not just the ballroom. That's to make the whole White House drone proof, apparently. I don't know what goes into that, but they're seeing how. I will say this. There's a part of me that's like you're seeing what's happening in the Middle East right now. Drones are the future of it. Anybody that could get a drone within a couple blocks of the White House could do the same kind of thing. So the idea of making sure that the White House has adequate drone protection, cool. Like if that's all they were doing, if they said, "Hey, we need to do," I would get that. I'd be for spending the money. But the fact that it's being lumped in with the ballroom, and then on top of that, he's doing all the 3 golf courses that we're renovating for whatever reason. Have you seen what he?
Hold on.
Okay.
I don't think that you can make a building drone proof because these drones are carrying missiles, and you can't make a building missile proof. Like there's no building out there that's actually missile proof.
So the drones are like a bomb. They're carrying a bomb, not a missile. Slight difference, but and they so like I've seen the video of when they hit like our embassy in Baghdad. It's not like a missile. It's a little explosion. Like it'll penetrate a building. But I would think that probably it's going to be different kind of interceptors and like there was that one video out of Baghdad where it was like a straight like line of machine gun fire with like red tracers, like just like a fire hose going off into the sky, taking out drones. I'll bet it's going to be a lot of things like that on top of the White House, like different ways to take out the drones as they're approaching. So
Okay.
that's
So
what
like
I'm
an
thinking.
interceptor system on top of the White House?
I think there's going to be a lot of them, a lot of different ways because drone swarms are the big thing. Like if you send one drone, it's going to get shot down. But if you send 100 of them, one of them is going to get through. So
Yeah.
you got to have several different ways to intercept them up there. Is what I'm thinking.
Interesting.
Real quick, have you seen what he's doing with the reflecting pond between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial?
No.
So apparently, so there is some truth to this. Apparently, that thing leaks and like it leaks like crazy, and every couple of years they have to drain it, and like they have some kind of plaster you put across the bottom, and for whatever reason, the way it was constructed, it tends to leak, so it's losing water all the time. Trump called his pool guy from Mar-a-Lago and had him come up and gave him a no bid contract to fix it. I think he's paying him $17 million. Their answer is on the bottom of a swimming pool. You know how the bottom of a swimming pool is like that aqua blue color? Apparently that's a plaster and it's very leak proof. People have suggested putting it in the reflecting pool before, but the idea has always been like, no, that would be ugly if it looked like a swimming pool. Like it's supposed to be a reflecting pond, not a swimming pool. Well, guess what? Trump, with no authorization, gave his pool guy the clearance, and now they are turning that. It's gonna look like a swimming pool. It's gonna be blue on the bottom, and apparently it's not gonna leak now. So hip hip hooray. He drove his motorcade out there today, like drove along the concrete along it, like made a whole spectacle of it. Luckily, while he was there, he did answer some questions. Here's the first one. You saw the first one earlier. That was him talking about hantavirus. But they asked him about, and this, you know how every now and then a reporter will ask Trump a question where it's like, hey, that's a good question. Like that is a good question to ask. And he's like, what a stupid question. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
the lady, her question is basically, hey, Americans are hurting. Like the national debt's exploding. The national debt it just became more than our yearly GDP. So like that's a threshold that once you cross, things get bad. But debt's exploding, people's personal debt is exploding. People don't have enough money to make ends meet, and you keep pumping more and more money into redecorating. Like that's basically her question.
Yeah.
Let,
People
let,
are putting their groceries on credit card.
yep. Let's watch President Trump's response here.
That's good. That's good. You got a good looking crew back there, fellas, huh? Yep. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, you are here against the backdrop of the war in Iran. Why focus on all these projects right now?
You
We're
know
still
why?
seeing gas
Because I
prices
want to
soar.
keep our country beautiful and safe. Beautiful also. This place was a disgusting place. It was Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and we had a terrible disgust. I don't know. You probably don't see dirt, but I do. And you walk down this pond. If you would have walked down, they'll tell you better than anybody. They had to take 11 or 12 truckloads of garbage out of that lake, out of that water, and it sat there for years like that. And that's not what our country is about. Our country is about beauty, cleanliness, safety, great people, not a filthy capital.
What is the
That's
status?
such a stupid question you ask. We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and you say, why are you fixing it up? Because you can understand dirt maybe better than I can, but I don't allow it. This is one of the worst reporters. She's with ABC Fake News, and she's a horror show. She's saying, why would you bother fixing this up? Why would I bother taking 11 or 12 truckloads of filth out of the water in front of the Lincoln Monument? That's what made our country great. Beauty made our country. People made our country great. A question like that is a disgrace to our country. Any other questions?
Mr. President, I'm also with ABC News. Can I ask you
Fake
about
news.
the hantavirus? Have you
I thought it was a good question. And that's right now, like my tax dollars are going to him beautifying all the and redecorating. First, let me sidetrack real quick. I have no problem with the LGBTQ community. I don't mind people that are homosexual. I feel like I need to say that here, but it's a little weird that he is so into ballrooms and redecorating. Like he's got some tendencies that lean a little where I'm like, is he? No.
Yeah.
He's so obsessed with the ballroom. I've never met a man that so badly wants to have a big, beautiful ballroom.
There is the speculation that he blew Bubba.
I did forget about that. I don't know. Like the way he was going on about the dirt and the filthiness and like, it's like, dude, what are you up to right now? Like we have things that we need you to focus on. And you're going around inspecting the monuments and getting mad when they're dirty and paying billions of dollars, millions of dollars at least, to have them restored. We don't need that right now, man. Like
No.
we got
No.
some problems in this country. He said, what was it, a couple weeks ago at the Easter lunch when he said, we can't do Medicare, we can't do Medicaid, we have wars to fight. Oh, we have wars to fight and we have redecorating to do. That's more important than making sure that people have health care. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you take care of the people and they take care of the country, right? That's what happens. The people have been neglected for so long that they don't take care of what we have here. And it's kind of crazy.
I wonder if you could do a poll, like some kind of a poll of the people and say, would you rather your tax dollars go to paying down the national debt or to Trump, remodeling different parts of DC? I feel like it'd be like 80 to 90% of the people would want to pay down the national debt or let's say healthcare or remodeling. Like which one would we want?
Yeah, healthcare.
Seems
I
easy.
guarantee it'd be 90% healthcare.
What's funny, Harry Enton did do a poll on the ballroom, and the video was good, but it was 3.5 minutes long. I didn't want to play it, but I just pulled one still shot from it because it cracked me up. The poll was Americans who support or believe in Ghost. Ghost is 39%. Telepathy is 29%, and the ballroom is 28%. More people believe in or support ghosts and telepathy than the new ballroom. So
That
there is
28% is that's his bottom.
that is the true like hard line. Like I think right now the average, because there's a lot of, you see all the different polls and they're outliers, but they always have like an average of the polls, the poll of polls they call it. And I
Uh-huh.
think he's sitting at 33 or 34% right now for the polling average.
And
Which
some of those polls are like swayed in his favor big time.
Oh yeah, and I think I told you, but there's something they call the Bush line. When George W. Bush left office, he like modern unpopularity like you've never seen before. He was at 32%. So like whenever a president gets this unpopular, they say, "Oh, he's getting close to the Bush line." He could go past the Bush line. It turns out there is another line past the Bush line, okay?
Oh.
Richard Nixon was at like 21% popularity when he left. So we're going to call that the Dick line. Trump is about to pass the Bush line and be headed towards the Dick line. Just so you know,
Okay.
I don't think he can hit the Dick line. That he's 28% on the ballroom seems to be his absolute floor. If those people still think he deserves a ballroom, they're not gonna turn on him for anything. It's my
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. I mean, we're bleeding money right now. And he's building a ballroom. What else is he building? An arch to Trump.
The Arc de Trump, the ballroom, the arch, the reflecting pool,
Oh,
three golf courses.
he's got a birthday coming up.
I didn't pull the picture, but this week at the Oval Office, one of his events, he stopped at the end and he was like, "Oh, let me show you this." And he had like an artist rendering of what it's going to look like when the cage is in front of the White House. And he was so proud of it. And it's like, dude, we got problems. Like
Yeah.
we can't spend our
Okay.
money on
Get
that.
on the phone and start calling other countries and get us out of this fucking war.
Yep.
And stop building shit. Stop putting your name on shit.
Yeah. That he's not going to do it, but and there's if the economy wasn't poor, there's a part of me that's like I would rather him be spending his money, like not his money, but spending his time on these little things. Like, yeah, let him remodel, because if he's remodeling, he's not doing things to hurt us. Like, but it's the fact is like this all costs millions and billions of dollars. Like we can't be doing this. I do have two clips I want to show you, just
Yeah.
kind of show you the state of the economy real quick. Both from Fox News.
The average one-week getaway for an American costs nearly $2,000 a person. Wow. The math behind it, relentless. Airfares, gas, restaurants, theme park tickets. The costs are exploding. And for working families, it's, well, maybe not going to happen this year.
$2,000 per person. Wow. I have a kid that's in fifth grade, and I had to tell her like a week ago. I was like, hey, just so you know, because during the summer we normally make trips to see family and this and that, and I had to tell her, I was like, hey, like with gas prices being the way they are, like we're not making as many trips this summer. Like, sorry, and she was cool about it. She's noticed the gas price. We've been talking about it, but I just told her, I said, hey, we're gonna have to be smart. Like, we'll still try to do fun things to do, but we can't take these big road trips this summer. If it's $4.50 a gallon, I'm not doing that. She got it, but
Yeah.
it sucks. Like normally, like quarter one, you kind of know where quarter one's going to be, and then quarter two it starts to pick up. Quarter three is the best quarter of the year because that's like summer, like late summer going into fall. People are making road trips. People are going on vacation. Like I'm very worried for what the next couple of quarters are going to look like GDP wise. It's I I don't even like to use the R word, recession. But like the fact that the economy got, what was it, 0.5% GDP in Q1, and right now we're looking at like 1 to 2%. Like we're hitting a weird point where like the word retraction is going to start being used here and there. And I actually heard
Yeah.
it on Fox News this week. Here's my second clip real quick.
Look at Whirlpool. Turner, good morning.
Good morning.
Why the dive for Whirlpool? Down 60%.
Yeah. So comments from executives are coming out and they're saying that they haven't seen demand this low since 2008, that this feels like recession levels to them. They're citing a number of factors: record low consumer sentiment, the economic impact of the Iran conflict, severe weather. All of that drove what they're saying is 7% contraction in industry demand during the first quarter.
Okay.
I think I said retraction a minute ago. I'm sorry, it's contraction. But when the economy starts to contract, so anyhow, red flags all over the place. Now the thing is, because the stock market is doing fantastic, I don't think Trump's going to notice all the other red flags if he can keep pointing at the stock market. And it's a mistake that he should have learned from Biden. Like when the economy was hurting, Biden kept going, look at the stock market. And that's Republicans were saying, Wall Street isn't Main Street, like some variation of that. That was what they kept saying. So you would think they would have learned this. And now we've got Trump just pointing at the stock market left and right. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
the American people are hurting.
If you're rich, 450 a gallon doesn't hurt you.
No. And
If you're making
also,
millions or billions.
when this kind of thing happens, when the economy starts to go south, a lot of small businesses close up, and like the big box stores, Amazon, Walmart, whatever it is, they gain that business. So it's great for CEOs of big companies when the economy takes a turn south. They gain their market share during that time.
Yeah. They start buying up the smaller businesses and using their, ingenuity, and yeah, it's not good. It's definitely not a good thing. I was going to go somewhere with that. Oh, usually when there's a retraction in the economy, interest rates. Contraction. Yeah. When there's a contraction or recession or whatever in the economy, usually interest is going down.
It depends, because so we're in a weird situation where inflation is going up, but the economy is going down. Like, you got to pick one or the other. Like, hey, we could lower interest rates to try to help the economy, but that's going to make inflation go even higher, which is ultimately going to hurt the economy. Or you can raise interest rates to try to bring inflation down, but that's going to hurt in all kinds of other areas, employment being one of them. So, like, pick your poison. Like, there's no magic bullet that solves both at the same time. Like, you have a couple different levers you can pull, but if you pull this lever, it's going to make one thing better and one thing worse. Which one do you care more about? And that's a question. What would you rather employment be safe and inflation keep going up, or would you rather inflation go down and employment be a problem? I don't know what the answer to that is. It's a shitty option.
You know what the lever they should be pulling is taxing the rich.
Yeah, which man, Ro Khanna, so California is trying to do like a tax the rich type thing where it's going to be like a one-time tax on anybody that has over $1 billion. I don't know the specifics of it. Ro Khanna called it an anti-revolution tax. And I thought that was the most clever thing ever. And he's trying to sell it because Ro Khanna, he represents like Silicon Valley area, like the richest. He has the richest district in America that he represents. And he's trying to sell it to the billionaires of, hey, if you don't do this, they're going to come for you one day. And like, we've talked about that. And I think that's really smart branding on his part. People are starting to talk about Ro Khanna as a dark horse for 2028. I don't know that it could happen. Just like Pete Buttigieg. I love Pete, but America's not ready for a gay president. Like, I would pick Pete in a heartbeat. Ro Khanna is not American looking. He's American through and through, but what is he, Indian or Pakistani? I don't know what he is. I think he's Indian. And for some reason, that's one of those where, like, I'm shocked Obama, a guy with the name Barack Obama, got elected. That's awesome that it happened, but I very much wonder if President Ro Khanna is possible at this point in time.
I don't know. What's his name? Vivek. He had some traction.
Dude, Vivek is going to lose. So Vivek should walk away easily with the Ohio Senate race, a governor race. And it's looking like he could very possibly lose Ohio.
Just because he's a Republican, he should have it?
Yeah, so Republicans have kind of had Ohio for the past, 12 years. Like, it's not really, it used to be a purple state, and it's pretty much a red state now. And Vivek, I've seen some videos out on the campaign trail. He's not Christian. He is whatever religion is in India. I don't really know. But a lot of people on the campaign trail are asking him basically, hey, wait, so hold on, you don't believe in Jesus Christ? And he has a very good answer where he's like, well, I believe in a God, and it's very similar to your God, but here are the different. And he explains it really well, but you can see that the people that are showing up to his events are not digging his answer at all. Like, they don't like it. It's not, I'm going to say this, it's not a for sure he's going to win or lose. I'm just saying, like, the fact that he could possibly lose, very shocking. And if what's interesting here is the Senate in Ohio was kind of not even thought of. Sherrod Brown, who was a good congressman from Ohio for a long time, everybody likes him. He's running for Senate. He was going to make it close, it looks like, but probably not be able to win. But because Vivek is polling so poorly, he could drag the entire Republican ticket in Ohio down with him. And then Ohio could have a Democrat governor and senator, which would be key. We haven't even talked about the whole Fetterman flip thing. There is a hard campaign push right now by Republicans where they are trying to flip Fetterman. Like, if the Senate ends up being tied 50-50, but a Democrat wins the presidency, then Democrats would get it. If it's 51 Democrats, then they get it. If that happens, they're going to try to flip Fetterman to Democrat. And he said a while ago, he's like, I'd make a shitty Republican. Like, I believe in abortion and I believe in gay rights and blah, blah, all these things. I would be a shitty Republican. But I think a lot changes in a quick amount of time, and I could see them pulling this off. So get ready for that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, when is he up for reelection? Because I feel
Not
like he probably isn't going to get reelected.
He's not up for reelection until 2030, I think.
Oh God.
It's either 2028 or 2030.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I
it's
feel
rough.
like the way he handled it, because he came out as a Democrat, like he got elected as a Democrat, and he has not held up to that
Dude,
whatsoever.
go back and find some of the videos from when Trump was in office the first time. And Fetterman, I don't, he was like the lieutenant, he wasn't the attorney general. He was something in Pennsylvania. He wasn't a senator. He was something in Pennsylvania politics. And he was going on CNN and just ripping Trump all the time. That's how he made it to senator, as he was like the loudest Trump critic in Pennsylvania. And then
Mm,
suddenly he's made this shift now where he's like, oh, everybody's got Trump derangement syndrome. I think he's great. And it's like, whoa, okay, like the way he
mm.
started, this doesn't make sense if you were paying attention to Fetterman back in the day. So he had that stroke. A lot
How
of things
much money did that take?
I don't know, and he's so pro-Israel that you got to think there's money involved. Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it would make sense. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's
anyhow,
money involved for sure.
I have one more thing I want to cover, then I'll let you off the phone. Actually, two more things. One of them is going to be quick. Do you remember the Trump phone that he was slinging a while back? And people were putting $500 deposits down to get a Trump phone. Well,
Hmm.
apparently a shitload of people put down those deposits. Nobody's gotten a Trump phone yet. We've never seen one. It appears they've never been made. Somebody went back and looked in the fine print. This is kind of funny. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but at the bottom, uh, does not guarantee that a device will be produced or made available for purchase. So you were putting $500 down, and it doesn't guarantee that they're even going to make a phone. Apparently, they just stole $500 from a bunch of hardcore Trump fans and never made a phone.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
so
kind of wild.
he rips off his base a lot, and they don't get mad at him for it. Like it's kind of hysterical. So
That's that's crazy.
yeah, buy a Trump.
It seems
Everybody,
like you should be able to sue him for that, even though
it
even though it's in the
says in the
fine
fine
print.
print. Yeah. I guarantee you, everyone that ordered a Trump phone already had a Trump Bible. That's my thought there. They paid for the $69
Yeah.
Bible. The last thing I do have, and this is just a health check on our commander in chief. There was another picture that came out. You know how I think it's always his right hand that was bruised, and then he started putting like concealer over it to where like you could tell there was makeup on his hand, and it makes you wonder how bruised it is under it. Well, now it's on both hands. Yeah,
Okay. So Trump hands, it's not looking great. Ooh.
so both of his hands are dealing with that, which I haven't heard a doctor really tell me what's going on there. Like he said, it's aspirin use, and he gets bruises from shaking hands all day. I don't buy that at all, but that's clearly like concealer on there of some kind.
Yeah.
You can see where it's rubbed off on one spot, and you can see how dark it is under there.
Well, they were also saying that it's more likely that he's getting an IV put into his hand. He's
How
got like,
often?
I mean, if he's got dementia, there's like a dementia medicine that goes in through the vein. I mean, I've heard somebody talk about it. It's been a long time, but there's like a dementia medicine that goes in through your hand, like a vein in your hand or whatever.
So getting an IV. I don't know. Look at this on his neck. Like what's that on the neck? That's not an IV.
Ooh, that's an older one, isn't it?
I don't think so. Maybe it is. I don't know. I saw this today. But is that like does that just happen when you get old? Is that a sign of having something? I don't know. I'd love I know that doctors, it's like part of their Hippocratic oath where they don't speculate on things they haven't diagnosed, but also like can somebody tell me what this could possibly be? I'm very curious. Like what is if if the commander in chief who's about to turn 80 in 1 month has got some health problems, I feel like that's the American people's business. Like we should know that. You don't get
Yeah.
privacy when you're the president.
Yeah. I mean, the neck thing could just be that he wears a suit, he wears a tie
And
all
it's
day, every day, and
been
it's just
rubbing up against his
rubbing.
neck.
That could be what it is.
Okay.
But
Well, knowing all this about his health, this is the last thing I have for you for the night. They did a poll to see who Republicans and Democrats thought would win in a fight between themselves and Donald Trump. and this kind of made me laugh. So, of all U.S. adults, 55% think that they would win, 19% think Donald Trump would win. Democrats 75 and 5, independents 58 and 11. What's weird is with Republicans, more Republicans think that Donald Trump would win in the fight than themselves. 33% think that they could beat up Donald Trump, and 39% think that Donald Trump would probably beat them up in a fight. Have they watched him try to walk recently? Like, he's not moving very good these days. Like, I think the problem is there's a lot of Trump voters that only ever see like the AI picture, like where he's dressed as Rambo and he's got like a 6-pack and big muscles and carrying a machine gun. I think they see that and they think that, that's clearly what he looks like. By the way, completely unrelated, real quick. My mom alerted me today that one of her friends, she's going to get mad at me for saying this, one of her friends has a painting in their living room that is Trump with angel's wings.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't want to say who, but yeah, that happens. That's a thing. So, anyhow,
that's crazy.
How do you think
in her living room, like a big painting of Trump in her living room?
Yes. How would you fare in a fight against Donald Trump? If you had a guess, how would a fight between you and Trump go? Would you get him to the ground? What would you do?
Are we squaring off?
Yeah.
Like, are we okay? So we're in each other's faces. We're squaring off.
No, this is no like Jamie Foxx club punch. Like, we both know this is happening. We're putting up our dukes. How would a fight between you and Donald Trump go? This is all theoretically. Obviously, we're not.
I fucking destroy his ass.
So I'm not a fighter, but I feel like somebody that's 80 years old, like I could tip him over. I could give him one shove and he'd break his hip. I'm not saying I want to do that. And I'm not saying that should happen. I'm just saying theoretically, because of this poll, what? I can't wait for like the Secret Service to be at our door tomorrow. Did you say you want to break the president's hip? No, I didn't say that.
We're just going with the poll here. We're just
saying theoretically.
Theoretically, yes.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if the fact that more Republicans think Donald Trump would win than them is because there's so many elderly Republicans. And who answers the phone for polls? Old people. So maybe it's a bunch of other 80-year-old people that are like, I don't know, it'd be close. Maybe Donald Trump would win. Maybe that's what the deal is here.
And they see all those pictures of him with muscles and healing people.
Yeah. The bottom of this poll is also funny, though. Who do you think would win in a physical fight between an 8-year-old boy and Donald Trump? I don't know why they asked that question, but the majority of U.S. adults, 45%, think that Donald Trump would win in a fight against an 8-year-old boy. Republicans, 72% of them are taking Trump in that fight. Democrats, 54-26. I don't know. Trump versus an 8-year-old would be kind of interesting. Like, I think that's a fair fight. I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, Trump would win. I think Trump could win.
8-year-olds are squirrely. Like, could he catch him? The 8-year-old's got speed and energy. Like, all you gotta do is dance around the ring for a little bit, and Trump's gonna be gassed.
Does now is it an 8-year-old boy who boxes or does jujitsu?
It just says an 8-year-old boy.
He's got an 8-year-old boy. I think Donald Trump just stands there, and the 8-year-old boy doesn't do anything, and like punches his leg, and Trump kicks him or pushes him or something.
I'll say this. I think if I could have 10 minutes to go over strategy with the 8-year-old boy, like I don't even have to teach him. I just want to talk to him. Let me talk to him for 10 minutes ahead of time and give him a strategy. I'll take the 8-year-old boy.
Yeah.
They gotta gas him. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. So punch him in the nuts.
That would be just run around, make him chase you for a couple minutes, and then jump on his back. Like it's over. Like he's going to the ground.
I don't think he would chase him. That's the thing. I think Trump would just be like, watch him.
He'd fall asleep out of boredom. It'd be like a cabinet meeting. He'd be out cold. So,
if Trump tried to run, I guarantee you he would fall face first.
Well, you saw when they got him up the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner when they finally moved him from the table. He got up and took like 2 steps and fell to the ground. So,
and that was just a quick shuffle. That was
he had to go 7 feet.
One little quick shuffle and he falls.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, all right, I'm out of stuff for the night. You got anything else?
No, I don't.
All right. You have a good night. I will talk to you after the weekend. Later.
Peace. Like and subscribe.
Sometimes you eat the bar. Sometimes the bar eats you.